Hello everyone, and today I am going to be building out a little woodland forest kind of scene that would kind of go along with my house here and also my watchtower. So the main thing I'm going to be kind of covering in this is some of the shorts that I did, but kind of going into more detail and also just more in depth on the materials used. So here I've used some ashwood chairs and also some rich mahogany wool, some green brick platform and also some dynasty chairs. And then I'm going to be building up a little bit more using some rich mahogany fence and also some ashwood fence. So here I'm just shaping out the area that I want it to be, because obviously if you've seen the shorts, I kind of like having that curve bit over the top with some of the more foliage areas. So I'm going to start off by grabbing that and also just going around with some of my living leaf wool. You don't have to paint this green, but I do paint it green. Now in this part I'm just getting the shape of the foliage right. Since I want it to be a bit of a curve, I want to build that out using some living leaf wool and also some living leaf blocks. So I'm going to be using rich mahogany living leaf and also regular living leaf. Then I'll go along hammering it just to get the nice shape that I want, and boom, perfect. Right, now that everything is all hammered into place and everything is all set, I think that looks quite nice. So that is the bench done, and next I want to work on the fence. I want this to act as a way to set everything into a nice woodland scene. So this is going to be quite an important step. So I'm going to do a little bit more in-depth detail, just talking about how I'm doing this, and well, we'll get into that now. So what I'm going to start off by doing is blocking out the area that I want the fence to be in. When you place fences next to each other, they have different heights, and you can use that to your advantage to create something that looks a bit more natural, a bit more used, a bit more lived in. Then I go in and I texture it using some ashwood fence. So I started off by using some ebonwood fence, going in with the ashwood fence, just to kind of create some areas that add a bit more variation. The colour's a little bit off, but we're going to cover it up and also accentuate it using some of the actual living leaf. So I'm going back in using my living leaf blocks again, both the rich mahogany and the regular wood type, just going in, placing these relatively randomly in areas that I think would look quite nice, and then eventually going in, hammering them and also adding in some living leaf wool. So once I've gone through and added in the living leaf wool and the living leaf blocks, I then hammer them into the shape which would kind of be reminiscent of vines almost growing up, reaching around the individual parts of the fence. Then once I've done that, I actually go through and just make sure it all fits a bit nicer, adding in a little bit more bits of living leaf wool just so it feels a bit more full, a bit more fluffy, and then finally going through and actuating them. The main reason that I like to actuate them is so that it fits in better with the wall. So by actuating it, it darkens it, making it much more similar colour to the actual living leaf wall itself. Once I've done this, it does look a lot nicer, it looks more like there's vines wrapping around, and there we go. Then the final thing that I want to work on is the little lamp which hangs just above the fence next to the bench area. And the main way that I'm going to do this is by using different kinds of platforms, little bits of wood and also fences. So I'm going back in with my rich mahogany and ebonwood fence, then grabbing myself a little bit of living leaf wool just to help it blend all together back into that fence, then going in with my extra bit of ebonwood fence, then getting my platforms. For this I'm using green brick and also living wood platforms. The main reason I'm adding the living wood is so that it has that little leaf that pokes out the end. Accidentally painting it brown does not really help with that, but once that's done, I go in and I place in my bits of wood using some ashwood and also some spooky wood. And there we go, that is it pretty much done. Just got to add the lantern. Boom. And that is a very nice and cozy little area. You can also add in a piece of living leaf onto the top there. I'm not really a fan of that, so instead I just go in with the fence and it looks a lot nicer. And there we go. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas of things that I should build next, just comment down below and I'll have a look at them as soon as I can. Anyways, make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.